Hi everybody, and welcome to the New and Sustainable Materials Expo. I'm your host, Sally Ann Williams, the CEO of Cicada Innovations, and I'm absolutely delighted that you could join me here today. In the spirit of reconciliation, I just want to take a moment for myself and Cicada Innovations to acknowledge the traditional custodians of country throughout Australia. Today I'm joining you from the land of the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation, and we want to pay our respects to elders past and present, and to acknowledge the continuing connections to land, sea and community. I want to pay my respects to anybody, Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander or First Nations people joining us today, and extend that beyond just the event today to anybody watching that on this video at a later date. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We're very excited. For those of you who don't know, Cicada Innovations is the home of deep tech in Australia. We've been around for over 21 years, and we are a Sydney-based incubator that is dedicated to solving some of the world's most pressing problems through building science and engineering businesses. Our mission is to support the most ambitious deep tech ventures who are building a better future for all of us. And we do that through both our incubator, but also our partnerships and collaborations with fantastic people, both locally and globally. And one of those partnerships you're going to get to see and experience today. So for the last few months, we have had the absolute privilege of working on a very special innovation challenge with the goal of unearthing sustainable alternatives to things commonly used in exhibitions, things like plastics and plywoods and textiles, even zip ties, things that we use and procure on an everyday basis. And the Biennale, or the 23rd Biennale of Sydney, has this vision of next year being as sustainable as possible and reducing their carbon footprint. So it's been a truly unique opportunity for us and for entrepreneurs to not only showcase what they're doing, but actually to become involved with one of the largest creative exhibitions on the planet and a community of global arts innovators and designers and creative thinkers. And we're just excited about that. We're excited about showcasing the vision that they have and participating. It's been a really amazing project to be a part of and support. We've connected with innovators both here and in the UK who are working at the intersection of science and art. When art meets science is one of the most exciting places for me, because that's where magic can really truly happen. And today we're going to have an opportunity to introduce a few of them to you and to showcase some of their work and to connect you with an opportunity to see them now and to see them into the future. But before we get underway and get into that, I want to take a moment to just acknowledge and thank our collaborators in this challenge and expo. So first and foremost, the Biennale of Sydney and the team, including the artistic director, Jose Roca, for having the vision to do things differently. I want to acknowledge that, they've taken a look at themselves and their own organisation and practices and said they want to be better and do better for the environment and for the future and for generations to come, and are really attempting to transform exhibition making to reduce waste, to make things sustainable, and to use non-polluting materials and reducing waste. And I think it's a phenomenal vision. It's something we totally support and stand behind, and it's a beautiful conversion of when art meets science, I think. Now, it's really important for us to acknowledge that this event would not be possible today without our fantastic and amazing partners and supporters in it. So I want to thank the team behind the UK Great campaign. They're part of the UK Australia Season, which is a collaboration between the British Council and the Australian Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade. And so if you don't know about that, check it out. It's a really phenomenal collaboration, and they share in the mission and vision that we're supporting with the Biennale today as well. And a massive thank you and a special thanks to the UK government's Science and Innovation Network. We know that they're thrilled to be part of this. They were so passionately jumping on board, going, how can we do this? How can we, do something together and collectively, because collective impact is actually what's going to solve some of the fundamental challenges that we see today. So without any further ado, we're going to kick things off, and I'm absolutely thrilled this evening, or this morning if you're joining us from the UK. We have got people globally joining us. Delighted that we've got a very special guest to open this event this evening. So I'd like to welcome this evening Her Excellency Vicki Treadell, the British High Commissioner to Australia, to officially kick us off and welcome everybody to the event. Thanks, Vicki.
Thank you so much, Sally-Ann. It's wonderful to join you. And may I in turn acknowledge where I'm addressing all of you from, Ngunnawal country, to acknowledge their leaders past, present and future, and indeed to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people here in Australia and who may be joining us online this evening. Our Indigenous Engagements Programme is a very important part of my portfolio. And of course, when we talk about understanding nature, guardianship of land, sea and water, there is so much we can learn from the traditional custodians of the lands from which we all come from. Well, good evening, everybody, or morning if you're in the UK. It's fantastic to be able to join you all. And I'm really proud of the work that the British government is doing, our Science and Innovation Network, and of course, our fantastic colleagues at the British Council. The UK-Australia season is just one of the most exciting bilateral programs we have ever undertaken with Australia. There is so much yet to come. And of course, to this particular and exciting initiative, I'd like to address myself. It's great to be able to support the New and Sustainable Materials Challenge. It sets out to unearth innovators, many of you in the room now, from the UK and Australia, creating or reinventing materials to be utilised in the exhibition design and creative production of the 23rd Biennale in Sydney. Through this innovation challenge and tonight's expo, the aim is really to bridge, as you've heard already, the scientific breakthroughs with artistic expression, to demonstrate the beauty of science through the medium of contemporary art exhibitions. That's really exciting to me, and I can't wait to hear the outcome of tonight's event and the work that lies ahead. The challenge has attracted applications from over 50 material innovators. And tonight you will meet 8 of them. These innovators are imagining or reimagining a better future for humanity and our planet, a planet that is under so much stress. Any of you who read the IPCC report 2-3 weeks ago will realize that the clock is really ticking down, and we all need to take responsibility and to take climate action. So how we reuse things, how do we recycle things, how do we find those sustainable materials and practices and behaviors of the future? This is absolutely essential right now. Time is running out, and for us to be motivated and inspired to take action, this is the time for that action. Not least because this is about our humanity, it is about our world, it is about our guardianship of this planet, creating products and materials that will make a sustainable future a real possibility. And that is a possibility we must seize. It is a possibility we must realize, because the alternative will just be too dreadful to imagine. So this evening, we're going to hear about materials from bricks made from sugar industry waste and plastic made from algae, to micro factories recycling plastic in 30 minutes. This is about rethinking what is possible in this world. These ideas, these innovations are fundamentally revolutionizing industry, and they will make a positive impact on our planet. And for me, as the senior representative of the British government, as COP26 president, with events coming up within 30 short days or so in Glasgow this November, we are encouraging innovators across the world to bring new sustainable solutions to life to tackle the climate challenge we face. It is, as I have said, vital. This is a critical time for all of us. It requires higher ambition. And yes, there is risk, but if we don't leap into taking risk, how will we know what the art of the possible is? The UK is committed to scientific excellence by increasing our R&D investment to £22 billion a year by 2025. Our innovation strategy encourages industry-wide collaboration, providing new sustainable solutions with a wide range of applications cannot be done in isolation or in any one country. The solutions of the global challenges of today require partnership across boundaries and borders between people, because it is only together and through innovation and partnership that we will succeed. The UK will continue working with Australia to develop the best innovations that are key to ambitious climate action. Tonight, this evening, it is a window into that future of materials and of opportunity to make tomorrow's technology happen faster. I encourage you to lean in, to offer help, make a connection if you can. Many of these innovators are at the beginning of their journeys, and they will need our support. They will need the support of industry, of investors, the support of corporates, of cultural institutions, and yes, of government, many of which are joining us tonight. I wish you all success. And for those of us who are not the innovators in the room, I'm sure we will be inspired by what we see and by what we hear, and by the imagination towards solutions of the future. I wish you all good luck, and I look forward to hearing from Lara, our magnificent Science and Innovation Officer, what the outcome of tonight's events are. Thank you very much for including me this evening. It's an absolute honor and pleasure.
Thank you so much, Vicki. I am so inspired by what you just said and shared with us. And I'm sitting in a room, and I kind of just went, please adopt me with the amount of vision that the UK is bringing to the table, and both policy and leading to make transformational change in really solving some of the fundamental challenges we're facing around climate. It's inspiring, and from the very, very big to the very, very small, we can all play a part in that. So I'm so thrilled that you could be here and open the event for us tonight. So thank you. So how's it going to work tonight? Well, you're actually going to see videos from 9 innovators tonight. We're going to get to speak to 8 of them. One of them, unfortunately, couldn't join us for the live conversation, but don't worry, I've got some great updates on them, and I'm going to be able to share that with you. So it's going to be super, super exciting. You're going to get a short, sharp taste of what their vision is for the future, and then what they're actually working on now and what that looks like. But the most important thing that I want to ask for you, you're not here as a passive viewer tonight. You're here, just as Vicki said, you're here to lean in, and you're here to support these innovators. So you're going to see throughout the chat as we post, we're going to be using a tool tonight that's going to allow you to connect with our innovators. And I'd encourage you to do that. I'd encourage you also in the chat to sort of look at what those opportunities are and connect with each other there. And more importantly, I'd encourage you to be a little bit like the Biennale and think about your own supply chain as you're going through this and going, what could I possibly procure, and what changes could I make in my business and in my practice to actually build a more sustainable future? Because we can all lean in and we can all make a difference in this way. So we know we've got an impressive group of people here from the UK, from Australia. We've got people from South Korea and Israel. I've been watching a little bit in the chat. It's fantastic. I love that. Please keep telling us where you're from. It's fantastic to see you all here. We've got people from the arts industry. We've got creatives. We've got government. We've got investors. There's already been a shout out to connect with an investor in there. We've got people that can help you procure, create, invest, and change the lives of these people when these innovators and their companies today. And I just want to encourage you to do that. Do not be shy. This is an opportunity, and this is a community that we want you to engage with. So without further ado, to introduce the first group of innovators, I'm absolutely thrilled and delighted. I am going to tell a bit of a personal story while she comes on screen, because I love a personal story, and I'm going off script and my team's going to get cranky, but you'll all forgive me. We're going to be joined by Barbara Moore. She's the CEO of the Biennale of Sydney. And I just want to say, Barbara, I'm so thrilled that you could be here. I am going to hand over to you in a moment, but I just want to let everybody know what a big moment this is for us. Barbara and I met last year. We were introduced by Monica Baroni, the CEO of the City of Sydney, a powerhouse woman who believes in making connections and that the power of connections can actually lead to transformations. And if it wasn't for her introduction, I don't think we'd be sitting in this place today, but we're absolutely thrilled to support you, to support Jose, to support the whole team at the Biennale in the future that you're imagining. And so can I please just give you the floor, introduce this to our innovators, share your heart and your vision. Over to you. It's wonderful to have you here.
How good is that? Thank you, Sally. Thanks for the warm welcome. Huge shout out to the Cicada Innovations team for hosting the event tonight, and all the collaborators and innovators, the innovators who submitted the EOIs that brought us here. The Biennale is a proud partner of the New and Sustainable Materials Challenge. Special shout out, have to do it, to Tim Barker from the Biennale and Sion Priest, who are the engine rooms behind this challenge. Thank you both. All right, so for those of you who don't know the Biennale, what is it? It's become one of the largest contemporary art events in the world. Essentially, it's a festival. It runs for 3 months, once every 2 years in public spaces across Sydney, galleries, museums, parks, everywhere. A flurry of events with an exhibition of contemporary art at its core. The aim is to present the most dynamic contemporary art from around the world in spaces across Sydney with exhibitions that ignite and surprise people, sparks dialogue, cultivates connections, and inspires actions through meaningful shared experiences. We want people to think about and talk about the things that affect them on a global level and a deeply personal level, and we do it through art. Let me rewind for a second. 2 years ago, the Biennale of Sydney worked with 2 artists called Lucas Ilhan and Kim Williams. And we worked on a project called Plastic Free Biennale. Essentially, from these 2 artists, it was a provocation, an interrogation, and an honest look at our actions, from exhibition practices to personal choices that our team members were making on a daily basis. That project was there to help us figure out what we wanted to do better, and it held us accountable. And the thing is, once you learn something, you can't unlearn it. You have to keep going. Culture shifts, and sometimes it needs to take a giant leap forward. Then comes Jose Roca, artistic director of the upcoming edition of the Biennale of Sydney, open from March to June 2022, and you're all going to be there. Jose proposed to focus the entire 2022 edition on waterways and weaving, with a strong focus on sustainability, collaboration, ancestral technologies, new technologies, and methods of coexistence. So yeah, we were in. People at the Biennale know that we can all do better. And here we are, thirsting for what's out there, and probably the world should know, and we should know how we do better. The innovations that have surfaced from this materials challenge are fundamentally going to have a positive impact on this planet, and that is a very exciting thing to be behind. I hope you'll join me for the Biennale next year and help imagine and create a better future together. All right, so I get great pleasure and honor of introducing the first group of innovators that you get to meet tonight. Number 1, Defy Design, who are diverting plastic waste away from landfill and turning it into new products, giving plastic a new life and contributing to the circular economy. Number 2, Sustinent, who are using biotechnology to turn agricultural green waste into new resources, including sustainable building materials. Third up, Great Wrap, who are developing compostable and biodegradable plastic wrap from food waste so that we can put an end to petroleum-based plastics, keep it in the ground. Watch this.
Defy is a new take on the plastic problem. We think recycled plastic can be better than virgin plastic, but to do this, you need to do a few different things. You need well-designed products, you need a unique approach to recycling, and you need some specialized manufacturing. We've got this running in our facility in Marrickville, and we'd like to show you how it works. Come on in. Once we've collected the plastic and it's in the building, the first step is to sort it. We sort by plastic type and color, and that means that the plastic remains as high quality as it can. The next step for us is to wash it and make it nice and clean, and we then shred it into small pellets ready for molding. The next step is to choose the colors and the plastic type based on the product. We then load it into our molding machines and we begin making our products. All our products are designed in-house, and we make special attention to make them both beautiful and useful. Here at Defy, we create circular products, and we're looking to increase the amount of plastic we can process and also to make more products for more people.
Fantastic. Well, I'm really excited to welcome Sam Davies. He's one of the founders of Defy Design, and we're going to have a little bit of a chat to find out a little bit more about what's under the hood. So Sam, congratulations. I think it's really awesome what you're doing, and I love the fact that you're actually solving a waste problem and transforming it into something new. But, you know, what attracted to you this? Why did you kind of just go, we're going to solve this problem? There's so many people trying to do it, but what made it sort of you gravitate towards it and, you know, put the energy in?
Yeah, I think it was probably a combination of two things. So at the time when I was beginning to get into it, I was doing bush regeneration. And then I've also trained as a product designer, and we would sweep through areas and I'd find plastic waste that we would pick up, and I'd come back a week later and do the same thing again. And I realized that it's too late in the process to be interrupting at that point. And what we really need to do is think about humankind's relationship with stuff. And as a product designer, I thought, what's a really, good way to intervene with this? And we started mucking around with some really small machines that could recycle plastic in really basic ways. And then once we started experimenting with it, we realized you can make really beautiful products and it's pretty easy. And then from then it really snowballed into, what it is today.
So speaking of what it is today, I know you've done some really interesting collaborations and projects. What can you tell us about some of the ones that are most exciting to you? You know, who have you collaborated with? What's the projects that you just go, this is like really awesome, I need to tell you about it?
Yeah, for us, we think, I guess the thing with recycling is we found that it really broke down when people got disconnected with how it works. And so the products that excite us are ones that have a really strong story of a waste product to the final product. So something that we worked on, which I really liked, was this hair comb that used shampoo bottles. And I think it's from the same sector. People are using it. It's got the same colors as the shampoo bottles, and it's really kind of tangible. And then we've done other things with nursery pots becoming nice, high quality indoor hanging pots, and then making coasters out of kitchen waste of milk bottles.
I actually kind of love that. You're literally taking the circular economy quite literal in doing that. And given that we're all in lockdown and haven't been able to have a haircut, I'm kind of like, yes, please, can I have a hairbrush right now? Thank you very much. You've got a big vision for Defy. So can you kind of just give us, like, paint the big picture? If we could take a time machine and go 20 years into the future, what's Defy now? What does Defy look like?
I think ideally the Defy system is taking control of all plastic globally. And it is a really big ambition, but I think once you get that kind of really tight closed loop custodianship of plastic, you really reduce environmental pollution, and you don't have to keep making virgin plastic. And the way that we envisage this happens is with decentralized factories, so that each community and each country and each city has a factory that's appropriate to their waste and their products, because then that factory is really theirs and it's for them and it's making useful things.
I absolutely love that, because you're actually thinking about the appropriateness of each market and each community and each place, and that's so important. I have got a big call out and a shout out to do to everybody in the audience, because remember I said we wanted you to lean in tonight, and or this morning if you're in the UK, we wanted you to lean in. What we want you to do is connect with the Defy team. So if you want to buy from them, if you want one of those factories in your community, in your town, if you happen to work for a shampoo company and would like to have your own combs that are made from recycled bottles of your own shampoo, perhaps, I don't know, I'm just thinking of a product line, trying to help out here. We're going to put in the chat right now a link to Slido, and in Slido there's going to be there's a code that you just type in. It's a hashtag 103752. You only have to enter your details once, but what I want you to do is go in there and tell the team, tell Sam at Defy what you want to do and how you connect with them, because tonight is about making introduction and connections. Sam's already connected with the Biennale. They're already having a conversation about what that might look like next year. And so you're all going to have to come to Sydney, because borders will be open, and come to the exhibition and see how Defy is involved and engaged with that process. But I want to make sure that everyone does connect with our innovators and with our creators here. Sam, congratulations. I love what you do. You know that as soon as I can visit, we're going to be coming over because I need some plant pots, and I am the crazy plant lady, or I'm becoming that crazy plant lady in my house. And so I'm ready to buy some. I'm just putting my hand up there. I'm ready to buy some. And I'm also ready to introduce you to some potential retailers that might want to take your product as well. So thank you so much for joining us, Sam. Fantastic. And we look forward to hearing more about you and seeing what Defy does.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.
All right, so next up, we're going to see a video from Sustinent. So I'm not going to give away what this is about, but let's turn it over to the team and get you excited for the conversation with Sustinent right after the video.
Our Northern Rivers region is known for growing sugarcane, but there's no sugar in the leaves. So the cane is burnt before harvest to get rid of them. It's a problem for many crops across the world. But we see an untapped resource. We created Sustinent to unlock the potential of green waste. And we do that with fungi. Fungi are the great recyclers of the natural world. We're using fungi to turn green waste into food for us and for animals. But we can also use the same biotechnology to make sustainable materials. This is nothing but green waste and natural fungi. And with a bit of creativity, we can make the world a better place.
Fantastic. I mean, can you just imagine that we're not going to be buying plastic eskies anymore? We're going to be getting them made from Sustinent, is what I took away from that. And considering summer's coming down under, I think that's a great need. Welcome, Philip Ellery, co-founder and, the brains behind Sustinent and the science behind it. It's great to have you here. Congratulations.
Thank you. Good to see you again.
It's what I love about what you do is you take a common problem on a farm, so waste that they would otherwise farmers would have to deal with, so they'd either have to burn it or pay for it to be disposed of, or just it ends up in landfill and something that's a horrific environmental outcome, and you turn it into something profitable and also green. Why think about the different outcomes and think about building materials and things from Sustinent? Where does that sort of inspiration come from?
Yeah, I guess we see green waste as an abundant and neglected resource. So for every tonne of food and fibre we harvest, there's probably another tonne of waste biomass. It depends on the crop. So in Australia, there's at least 50 million tonnes of this stuff each year. And globally, it's about 5 billion tonnes. And it's really such a versatile material if you can crack it. So we know there's demand for more sustainable building materials. So if we take green waste that would otherwise be burnt or left to rot and turn it into products like this that can be used in construction, then everyone wins.
I kind of really love the vision that you sort of said. You see it as an untapped resource. When we think about the resource sector in Australia, we generally think pretty negatively, right? We're thinking about coal and stuff that we're digging out of the ground, but you're literally taking something that would be considered waste and turning it into an actual asset for a business, which is really cool. Tell us a little bit about the broader mission that you have for Sustinent and kind of where you're at with the business right now.
Sure. So our mission is to unlock the potential in all of us to create a sustainable future. We started that ball rolling with some clever biotechnology, but making that science scalable is the big challenge. There's a lot that needs to happen from the paddock to getting a product on the shelf. So we're building the solutions from the ground up by partnering with the producers or the processors of the green waste. We build the engineering and the IT solutions and the market around them to make them profitable. Excuse me. Then by connecting those partners to each other and to new ideas, we'll see that network effect. So in essence, we're an ecosystem business with a biotechnology at our heart, because that's how we feel we can really make a difference.
Love it. Love an ecosystem, and I love an ecosystem play. Systems theorist over here. So you're speaking to my heart. So if you had one plea to everybody watching this, either live now or, you know, watching it later, what's the one thing that you would like people to do to help you out on your journey with Sustinent? Because everyone's got the link in the chat to go to Slido and be able to kind of connect with you and help you. So what's that sort of help that you need over the next 12 months to bring your vision to life?
Yeah, sure. I'm going to cheat. It's not just one thing. So we've set ourselves some very ambitious targets. We want capacity online to process 1 million tonnes of green waste into a range of products within 5 years. So over the next 12 months, that means a bigger team and more partnerships. So we want to use this opportunity to connect to the construction industry to understand more about their needs and how materials like this could work for them. And we're here to connect with the creative community to find new applications for these sorts of materials and showcase them. And critically, we do need to connect to impact investors and the policymakers to get behind our mission.
I love it. So there's a really direct call to action. And I love that you've kind of done the hustle and gone, I'm not going to give you one thing, I'm going to give you a lot of things. So for all of you out there that are watching today, if you're a funder, if you're a policymaker, if you're a decision maker in industry, you have got a direct call to action to connect to Philip and the team at Sustinent and actually be a part of their journey and be a part of the transformation that you want to see. So thank you so much, Philip. It's awesome. I'm really looking forward. I'm really excited about the fact that you're looking into the arts community and what you're going to do there, because I really think what you're doing is an incredible thing to be considered for that as well. So we've got one more video to show you right now, and I'm super excited to introduce Great Wrap and see what they're doing. If you haven't heard about them before, it's really exciting.
We all know that our environment is precious and that plastic is causing irreparable damage. We could see that there was a huge disparity between what we were consuming versus the technology being developed around us. We recognised that there was an opportunity to marry these worlds together to create a better future. That's when Great Wrap was born. It started with just us, and now we have a team of some of the most talented minds on our side, helping us solve this massive problem.
Currently, we manufacture compostable cling wrap made from food waste, but we're not stopping there. We are designing processes that convert organic waste into plastic alternative solutions. Our products are not only compostable, but soon they'll be marine biodegradable too, so that no matter where they end up, they won't rely on future generations to clean up our mess.
I think you'll all agree it's a pretty phenomenal vision and an amazing solution that Julia, the co-founder of Great Wrap, is doing and delivering. Welcome, Julia. Thank you so much for joining us, and congrats on taking something that is a big problem and a massive challenge and not going, it's too hard, somebody else do it, I'm going to do it. Tell us about that. How did you and Jordan, you know, when did you kind of just go, yep, we're crazy enough to actually figure this out?
Thank you. Yeah, thanks, Sally. It's a good question. Look, I was working in architecture and Geordie was making wine, and you know, he was farming organically, and I was choosing the most sustainable materials I could find possibly. And we'd see, you know, like timber arrive on site wrapped in this pallet wrap, and you go, what's the point? What's the point of farming in this way or choosing these materials if the supply chain isn't delivering in a way that we want it to? So we kind of both got pretty angry about it and thought, imagine if this pallet wrap just disappeared. And then we kind of worked backwards from there. So that was, I guess, 2 years ago. And now we've got that factory that you saw in the video, and some really cool biotech stuff happening behind the scenes as well. So
it's an incredible journey when you say 2 years ago, right? You're sitting there going, oh, this has taken 10 to 20 years. And, you know, full disclosure, like this is kind of really close to my heart because my parents owned a fruit and veggie shop growing up, and I had to work in that shop, you know, so first in family to finish high school, all of those things. And I'll never forget, you know, cutting up watermelon, and it drives me bonkers when I go to the fruit shop today. And I'm going to call out Woolies, Coles, Harris Farm, all of you. I'm looking at you. If anybody works in those supply chains and you're on the call today, you're on the hook to get in touch with Great Wrap if you haven't already. But But we would sit there and we'd cut all this fruit and we're using plastic to wrap it to be able to sell it. And yet you see at the other end, it gets, as soon as people get it home, they're pulling it off and there's so much waste. So tell us, where you're at, because that factory looked massive. So you've done a lot in 2 years. What's kind of some of the achievements and milestones you've hit?
Yeah, totally. That factory is actually quite small compared to the one that we're opening in December. So we'll be launching with catering wrap and pallet wrap made from food waste, which is very exciting. Obviously very attached to the hospitality industry, as you are. We've grown a beautiful team of polymer engineers, scientists, storytellers, and inventors to help us kind of build out this crazy growth. Which is just been so inspiring to see people come along on the journey, that they're excited as we are. And we're also working on building a biorefinery by next year, which will allow us to process our own food waste and turn that into a biopolymer that will not only be home compostable the way the product is now, but also marine degradable as well. And once we've tackled the stretch wrap industry, which is 150,000 tonnes annually in Australia alone, we're looking at food packaging too. So essentially everything you see on a shelf, we hope will be made by Great Wrap and marine degradable.
and now you're branching out into the arts industry and the arts sector.
Yes.
Why not? Who'd have thought, but I think that's the beautiful thing about what you're doing. You're solving a problem at one part of the market, but actually it translates. And I think about what we do at Cicada Innovations here behind me and the companies we have and deliveries and things that we see. And we need the solution here. Our companies need this solution for what's getting delivered every single day as well. So it's pretty awesome. Look, we've got a chance tonight to connect with the audience, and these are people from all over the place, all over the world. And Kylie Kwong has even just said she can't wait to use Great Wrap in Lucky Kwong. And I believe Freedom Day is coming. So I will take it on as my personal action item to make that personal connection, because I have both of your email addresses. But for everybody else out there that wants to engage, they're going to be opening their Slido up right now and be, connecting with you. What is it you'd like from anybody watching now or tomorrow or next week when we share this video out?
Yeah, thank you. Look, I think if you're here, you're obviously pretty excited about new materials, and we are building out a team of people who are passionate. So we're doing a really big round of hiring soon. So if you're interested in any way, whether it be right now or in the future, to work with us, please reach out. Obviously, if you're in the hospitality industry, we'd love you to pick up Great Wrap as soon as possible. So Kylie, that'd be great. But we're actually doing a Series A towards the end of this year as well. So if you're interested in getting involved from the capital perspective, that would be amazing too. We really love having mentors around that are excited in this space. So that'd be amazing. I did the 3-pronged Phil's approach. So
I mean, you get the gold star again for hustle, right? I love that. I know where you got that learning from. So insider knowledge there. But I love that approach. And I know that there's somebody on here from my community in the investment stream that I'm also going to, hit up and make a connection if he hasn't filled it out. And I'm pretty sure he knows who that is, because I know he's watching. So thank you so much. We love what you're doing. We love the vision that you bring and the commitment and the long-term support that you're going to give to people, planet, and prosperity by bringing your products to market and doing it here in Australia and providing opportunities. So it's awesome. Good luck for the future.
Thank you.
Okay, so right now it's my great privilege. We're going to have a little break, a very short break from a video, to introduce one of our great supporters and sponsors of this event. This initiative wouldn't have happened without them. And so I'm absolutely delighted to introduce Helen Salmon. She's the season director for the UK Australia season and the country director of the Australia British Council. So Helen, thank you so much for your support. Thank you for your vision. Thank you for your contributions. It's awesome to have you here, and I'm just going to throw over to you and let you speak from your heart and your vision and your perspective about this, because I know this is a passion that we all share and we unite and connect on.
Absolutely. Thank you, Sally Ann. And I'm thrilled to be here tonight. I'm coming from Wongal country this evening. And as Sally Ann said, I represent the UK Australia season. That's an initiative between the British Council and the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade in the Australian government. The season is really focused on collaboration and innovation across the arts, creative technologies, and higher education. So you can see that this project is particularly close to our heart. We're really interested in long-term impact. It's not just a festival. We want to provide a platform for people to expand their networks, to increase their knowledge, and most importantly, to have new ways of working together and find new opportunities through this platform. Our real interest at the British Council is cultural relations. And as Barbara said earlier, culture shifts. We're acutely aware as two countries on the opposite sides of the world that we have to find new ways to work together in the cultural sector that are significantly more sustainable. Sharing each other's knowledge and perspectives and paradigms for the world is important, and we need to do that in a way that is appropriate to the times that we're in. And I'm so excited, genuinely thrilled to have been watching these videos and see what's on offer to the sector. We're particularly proud to be partnering with Cicada Innovations and the Biennale of Sydney. Also, my fantastic colleagues in the UK government, the Science and Innovation Network, and particularly the GREAT campaign, which has supported this entire initiative. I'm thrilled to introduce the next round of innovators. We have Other Matters. They are designing beautiful objects and artworks out of algae-based bioplastics. We also have Pinatex. Pinatex are turning pineapple leaves and natural waste materials into luxury materials like leather for the fashion industry. And third, we have Rapstrap. Rapstrap are putting an end to single-use cable ties with their reusable and biodegradable tie straps. So I really look forward to seeing the next section, and thank you very much.
Other Matter is a response to the current climate crisis. We are investigating materials that are sustainable, organic, and directly recyclable. The geopolitical infrastructure that surrounds us creates huge barriers to making changes that are sustainable in everyday life. As a response, Other Matter focuses on bottom-up solutions that can be implemented in a home kitchen. My work showcases the potential for these algal polymers, and what we have is outcomes that are tangible responses to things that could replace petrochemical plastics. From old algae to new algae, this work is providing a solution. We are being able to use what is a sustainable resource that is renewable. When it's harvested sustainably, it's environmentally responsible. And through that new polymer, we are making a material that can be infinitely reused.
Amazing. Jessie, I look at your video and I just sit there in awe, and I actually just kind of go, can I please have this and this and this and this? It's so beautiful what you do and what you create out of algae. So thank you so much for being part of this and being part of, this vision of what you're doing. I really love it, and welcome. I just had to say that because I'm a bit of a fan.
Thank you. That's lovely.
So what kind of first attracted you to start creating, algae bioplastics? It's not the sort of thing I'd imagine that you wake up one day and just go, aha, I'm going to go get some algae and turn it into sort of something else. What was that kind of, how did you start? What led you on this journey?
Yeah, I mean, I'm an artist, so it started from my artistic practice. I was also studying history and philosophy of science and doing a lot of looking at laboratory practices kind of throughout history, but more recently kind of a turn to practice and kind of exploratory experiments and these kind of processes. And yeah, started looking at some bioplastic recipes and went from there.
Did you literally just Google bioplastic recipes? I mean, I shouldn't be asking that question, but I'm just curious how you kind of go, I just started investigating bioplastic recipes.
Yeah, I'd seen it around for a little bit, and that bioplastics are a widely used phrase, but a lot of them are kind of mix of petrochemical plastic and organic. So I was looking at kind of, I guess, doing more research into that, and of course, looking at solutions and trying to make a material. And from there, I then started just trying to make it do what I wanted it to do.
It's really beautiful and incredible and inspirational. And I know there's the, you know, the big story behind it as well. You, as an artist, you've worked on a lot of different sort of custom projects and things like that. Could you tell us about some of the ones that, you know, resonate most with you that, you know, that you've done, and shed a light on some of that for those watching today that maybe are new to Other Matter and to your work?
Yeah, well, I launched Other Matter at the start of this year in response to demand that I was getting to use the skills and knowledge that I kind of developed in my artistic practice, but extending them out into client-based projects. So naturally, it started with a lot of collaborations with other creatives and other artists wanting to use it. But I've worked with architecture firms, sibling architecture. I've done a few works with interior fit outs. The big thing behind me is a prototype for a big interior fit out. And from there, you know, I saw Vicki from Experimenter. I've done some work with them, and now, yeah, the Biennale of Sydney is going to be a huge way to showcase what I'm doing.
I really love it because you're combining, you know, both art and beauty and design and sustainability in this seamless way. It really is truly when art meets science in the work that you do. If there was one thing that you would love from a call to action, or something that you would like for support from those of our community watching tonight or watching later, what do you want? How would you like people to engage with you? What support do you need? What do you need to fulfill your big vision and what you want to achieve in the next, you know, 1 year, 3 year, 5 years?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Other Matter, I really would like to grow. At the moment, there's a few things that I need to do in order to scale, and part of that is building a bit of a team. So I'm looking for advice on licensing and IP, also investment. That would be really helpful, but also kind of, you know, every opportunity is great. And, you know, I'm based in the cultural industry, so I'll keep working as an artist, but working out ways that I can scaffold that to continue the studio practice as well.
I love it. I love what you're doing. I'm going to hand on heart dob my team in, but we've got a few connections with sort of, you know, some sort of not so much construction companies, but sort of building and design and others like that. So we're gonna send them your video and sort of be like, hey, let's poke you and get you involved. You say you want to be green. You say you want to make a statement and you want to make a difference. We've got just the way for you to do that. So let's get you to commit, not just with words, but with actions. So everybody watching, please head on over to Slido. The link is in the chat, and connect with Jessie and find a way that you can help support her in her vision and grow her team, grow the opportunity, because I think it's really amazing when you can see art and passion and a statement to society and to community all coming in a line. It's just, it's really powerful. So I love what you're doing. Thank you so much for being part of it. I can't wait to see what you do at the Biennale next year. I'm really looking forward to it, and I can't wait to meet you outside of lockdown.
Me too. Thank you.
So next up, we're going to see a video from Pinatex. Sadly, their team isn't going to be able to join us tonight, but once that video is done, I'm going to give you a little bit of an update on what they're doing, because I think it's really cool and I think you're going to really like it. And, you know, I'm a Queensland girl. You're going to see the connection when you see this. It's not from Queensland, but you're going to see it when you think tropical. I'm giving it away. It's a secret, but it's really awesome. Let's go see their video. So Pinatex is pretty awesome, right? They're a UK company and they're turning pineapple waste into beautiful, beautiful products. I mean, I think you'll all agree with me. Don't we want the handbag or the shoes, or actually, I just want something made out of that beautiful, shiny leather. Leather, I should be doing inverted commas. It's quite incredible what they're doing. And what I love about what they're doing is, you know, they are taking something, again, that's out there that would be waste or discarded or never used and turning it into something that's usable. So when we really do think about how we can make the world more sustainable, and we start from the end state where we want a sustainable for the future and, you know, clean and green, actually it requires us to rethink and reimagine the materials we use, which is exactly what they're doing. And they've got some great success and runs on the board. So I want to tell you about them, and I want to make sure that you can connect with them as well. So you can, you know, let us know if you need a connection with them as well, because I think they're just really awesome in what they're doing. They're already working with Tom Dixon, and they're also working with Nike. And I think they're limitless in their future. So if you're out there and you're thinking, that is a material for me, I need to know more about them, connect through our app, connect via my team, connect, because we want to help them out and we want to see that future, you know, really brought to life, because these products are really, really awesome and I just love them. And Pat, I see your comment that pineapples are great. I do not agree that they're great on pizza. So I'm sorry, no. Disagree with you with that. Pineapples as shoes, however, yes, 100%. So next up, we're going to see a short video from Rapstrap. Now, Rapstrap is really interesting. I love this, and I'm going to tell you about it. Jose gave me one challenge when I met him. He said, I want you to go find me something sustainable. And in this one little area, which I hadn't even thought about, and turns out my team, because they're genius and they will scour the world for solutions, found it in Rapstrap. So let's see that video.
Cable ties, they're everywhere. We use as many of these as we do carrier bags. Up to 500 billion are produced every year. Stacked end to end, they would reach to Mars. But they're single-use items and their waste litters the environment. So at Rapstrap, we're taking unused scrap cable sleeving and upcycling it into new cable ties. Our ties are soft, flexible and they're semi-elasticated. Unlike conventional ties, our unique design can be used multiple times. Just tie it, cut it and tie it again and again. Rapstrap is not a single-use item. It can also be removed and reused if required. Just pull the end and it comes undone, ready to go again. Yeah! And did we mention we make biodegradable versions as well? Whoa! Whatever your application, Rapstrap has it all tied up.
Oh my gosh, that is so much fun, that video. So Andy, I love it. Thank you so much for joining us from the UK.
Good morning.
Love the sound effects, love the puns in there as well. But truly, you actually have helped me hopefully make Jose very, very happy, because the one thing I remember in him talking to me about was, could you find me some solutions for cable ties? We use so many of them. So tell us, like, I'm pretty much sure everybody can relate to the fact that we've all had to cut off cable ties. We've all thrown them in the bin. We've all probably kind of rolled our eyes and sighed about it. But, you know, how did you kind of like get involved with thinking about solving this problem?
Well, originally, I had the idea when I was about 16. I'd basically been mowing the lawn and ended up with bags full of lawn clippings. And I thought, it's got to be a quick way of tying these up. And I considered using a cable tie, but I realized I was going to cut most of it off and throw it away. So I thought there's got to be a more efficient product out there where you cut the end off and use it again and again, but nothing seemed to exist. So a few years later, I thought, quite naively at the time, let me see if I can do this myself. And that was 30 years ago, and I'm still working on it today.
30 years ago, wow. We talk about deep tech taking a long time. I didn't realize that you'd been around for that long, but you know, this is one of these fundamental problems that I think that we see, and people just look at it and go, oh, why would I solve it? Because they're so cheap and they're so there, but you've actually been chosen to become bothered by it and do it. So tell us about some of the success. What are some of the big things that you've kind of seen happen in your journey, and what are some of the things that Rapstrap has achieved over that time?
Well, it's been a bit of a roller coaster ride, to be honest. My first company got started with help from the Prince's Trust after I left university, and that company actually ended up on the ASX. But unfortunately, the product wasn't quite good enough or cheap enough to really catch on, and things didn't quite work out as I would have liked. But I learned a lot from the experience. So after a bit of a break, a few years later, I decided to try again with a new design. This was the original Rapstrap. And this, I was kind of press ganged into going on to the BBC's Dragons Den. I think you used to have Shark Tank down in Australia. And I'd never actually seen the program before, but I got asked to go on and ended up with getting a couple of investors, a couple of the Dragons backed it. Then we got it into production with Maxell, best known for batteries and video cassettes and so on. They do injection molding as well. And it's been quite successful. Although we've done quite well with this, it turns out that not everybody wants an elasticated cable tie. So I went back to the drawing board and came up with something that was a little bit stiffer and stronger. So this is kind of more like your traditional cable tie, but waste-free. So that's kind of where we're at the moment, and we're just now launching that second generation product.
Well, I'm not going to lie, I'm looking in the chat right now and there's about half a dozen people going, I want to buy this, where can I get it? Are the tradies watching this show right now? Like, who's online? Get this into people's hands. So that's pretty phenomenal, the audience response. It's such an everyday problem that I think we can all relate to. If you were going to look for one thing that would help you, other than, you know, helping the Biennale and, you know, the UK seasons and looking at what we're doing in the arts community, if there's one thing that you'd love to get out of this with the audience that we have today, with who we're going to be able to sharing about it, how can we help you and what can people do to lean in and to, you know, help Rapstrap really, you know, take over the world of cable ties and make all of those other, you know, wasteful products redundant?
I think really it's just a case of making people aware that this technology does exist. It's not all things to all people at the moment, but we have quite a wide portfolio of different products, different materials. So really, if anybody's got any contacts or any use for them themselves, please get in touch. We want to hear from end users. We want to hear from people who can sell it, distribute it, people who could even manufacture it. Australia is quite away from the UK. I think we do have a distributor over there, but it would be nice to have a slightly stronger footprint in that part of the world, because this is a global market we're dealing with.
All right, challenge on. My team, I want us to get on to New South Wales Trade and Investment, and we'll make a connection and see if we can't get an expansion out to Australia. I feel like that's a great collaboration between the UK and Australia to expand your footprint, and maybe we can get a manufacturer here locally for you. And I'm going to put a call out to everybody on there right now. I want you, if you're watching this and you've made a comment in there about how awesome this is, don't just comment. Pick up your phone, open a thing, and actually put in an offer and connect, because we want to see Rapstrap globally and we want to see everybody using cable ties in a sustainable way. Thank you so much. It's awesome to see what you're doing. I really love it. It's brilliant. And Jose, I hope I've done you proud and I hope you're happy. So next up, it's my absolute pleasure to introduce Lara, who is the head of the UK Science and Innovation Network. Now, Lara is just a wonderful human who, the first time I met, we connected so quickly around, I think, purpose and vision and you know, real vision and values of how you actually, if you want to make a big difference in the world, if you want to make an impact, if you want to have a positive impact on people, planet and prosperity, you do it in collaboration and you do it together. So Lara, I'm thrilled that actually without you, this wouldn't be here. You are kind of like, you know, if I talk about the linchpin that connected all the dots, it really was because of you. And I just want to acknowledge that and thank you for everything that you've done and your continued support of all of us here today. It's wonderful. Over to you. I'd love to give you the floor.
That is very kind of you to say, but I think we can all see it's your enthusiasm that's really pulled this all together. I'm so thrilled to be here and I've been blown away by what I've seen so far. Like Sally said, my name is Lara Krasnostein. I represent the UK government on science and innovation and I work out of the British High Commission. It is genuinely my privilege to be in such a role that promotes collaboration between the UK and Australia in a whole variety of areas like space and agri-science and of course clean tech like we're seeing here today. I can see everyone connecting online, which is unbelievable. So at the British High Commission, we have a whole team of people who want to help you connect and work with the UK. So please don't ever hesitate to be in touch. It's my role in this community is to be your entry point to the UK. If I'm not the right person, I will find you who you need. It has been an honour to be a partner on this new and sustainable materials challenge, working with the amazing Cicada Innovations and our other partners. And I have the pleasure to introduce you to the final group of material innovators tonight. So you are going to meet Xefco, who are developing textile technologies that enhance performance, comfort, and have a lower impact on the environment. And then you'll meet Smart at UNSW's Green Ceramic Microfactory, who are turning waste from glass and ceramics into entirely new products. And then finally, we're going to meet Planet Protector Packaging, whose mission is to remove polystyrene from our planet by providing cost-effective, sustainable packaging from wool. So good luck to those presenting, and to the audience, thank you and enjoy.
Xefco develops advanced coating technologies for the textile industry. We work with Australia's leading universities, applying cutting-edge material science to take on major challenges in the industry. Our developments deliver improved performance, comfort, and protection with reduced environmental footprint. Xreflex is a radiant barrier technology for insulated garments, equipment, and accessories. The patented technology reflects radiant body heat to generate greater warmth without adding weight or reducing breathability, so that products require less insulation material to keep you warm. Products using Xreflex are thinner, lighter, and warmer, with a reduced environmental footprint.
I love that. Tom, it's so awesome to have you here. Thank you so much. So for those of you who are meeting Tom for the first time, he is the founder and CEO of Xefco. I'm just going to put in, I need one of those jackets. I freeze in Sydney. I know for all of those in the UK, you're going to be laughing at me now. I'm a Queensland girl. I don't do the cold really well. I'd like my Xefco jacket, please. Thank you very much. Look, congratulations. Love what you're doing. Love the new materials. They are high performance. They're better for the environment. They're also beautiful. You've got some crazy things going on. Tell us about the vision and the mission of Xefco, because I know you guys are so unique in what you do and doing some really amazing things.
Thanks, Sally. So look, the textile industry is one of the world's biggest polluters. It's also one that still uses very traditional technologies in the way we make the materials. So what we're about is about bringing state-of-the-art technologies to solve some of the big issues in the textile space. We started off looking at one of the really basic ones, which is one of the fundamental functions of clothing, and that's to keep you warm. And we looked at it and said, how can we improve this? How can we make this better? Can we provide better function whilst reducing the environmental footprint? And so that's where we looked into different ways that we can keep you warm, and this is one of our first technologies to the market.
So I love that. I know you have lots of plans for other sort of materials and sustainable products. Have you got anything in the works that you can talk about, or anything else that you've kind of maybe recently launched or doing to sort of share the vision? I already see people wanting to connect with you, which is great, but what else is going on? Because I know this isn't just the only thing that you do.
Yeah, absolutely. So quite recently, we launched an antiviral textile technology, which was in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. So that's actually been hugely successful, and at the moment we're gearing up to bring production to Australia. So we just established a recent venture which sees us making PPE and producing materials here. In addition to that, we also have another technology which is really bringing a new perspective to the way that we dye and finish fabrics, and the whole goal there is to eliminate water from textile production. Which is really one of the biggest issues in the space.
So I learn something every time I talk to you, because, you know, I think intellectually I know that about dyeing things, that's water's used, but I just, you know, you don't think about it when you're picking up a clothing item or you're buying it necessarily. So really being thoughtfully connected to what you're purchasing is a really powerful way of driving change as a consumer. to actually pull products like yours through the supply chain and direct into our hands. I know I've seen somebody from a sustainable fashion brand that already wants to connect with you, so we're going to make sure they're on Slido. But if there's one thing that you'd love people watching today that are going to find out about you, you know, they could be from the arts community, they may not just be from the fashion community. What are some of the things that you would love to do, and what are some of the requests that you have from our community watching here today to connect with you, and how can we help you with your vision? Because it's a pretty big one and you are growing rapidly, so we want to lean in as a community and help you.
Thank you. So look, as a start, of course, any brands or textile manufacturers who are interested to use our materials would love to hear from you and work with you. But aside from that, we're looking to form relationships with other supply chain partners and other people who have technologies that might fit into the textile industry. So whether that's at the polymer level, raw material level, or through to recycling processes, because obviously that's another major challenge in our industry.
Fantastic. Love what you're doing. I'm ready for my jacket. I'd like it in black, please, because I'm kind of boring in basic black, but you know, we can talk about that offline. Or you can just send me a link to the store and I can actually buy it myself, and I'm happy to do that to support you. Thank you so much for what you're doing. We look forward to seeing how a collaboration with the Biennale might unfold and what would be next. So next up, we're going to see a short video from Smart at UNSW.
Well, waste is a massive challenge in Australia and globally.
Products manufactured through our green ceramics microfactory have ended up in the latest residential apartments, community spaces, and even exhibitions.
We don't see waste as a problem. We actually see it as an enormous economic opportunity.
Through the science of micro-recycling developed at the Smart Centre, a variety of microfactory modules have been developed in partnership with industries and stakeholders to industrialize this process.
We're looking to transform some of the most complex waste materials like glass, textiles, coffee into value-added products.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Anavan. It's great to have you joining us today, and congratulations. Love the vision and what you're doing. So you led a team of engineers focused on diverting waste and turning it into value-added products and you know, really creating sustainable supply chains. Tell us about some of the products and the things that you're creating at Smart at UNSW.
Well, for us, Sally, it's always been about the most problematic materials. All the really difficult to recycle materials, they get us the most excited. So for instance, with e-waste, we've been looking at making copper alloys and different kind of metallics. But I guess the ones that are really people able to connect with are things like our green ceramics. So making tiles and coffee tables out of waste glass and textiles. Also timber and textile composites to replace plywood, but a whole range of different materials, but all from, different problematic waste streams.
I love that you kind of identify that you like the hard problems, because that's sort of in line with us too. We like the hard problems because the hard problems are the ones with a really big market, and they're the things that are really valuable for people, planet, and prosperity to solve. I know that you're thinking about like micro factories and a big vision for ubiquitous use of them. Can you talk us through that really briefly about what that looks like and what you see the role of micro factories, globally in this challenge and in this sector?
Yeah, it's really hard for us to be brief about microfactories, even though they are micro. But it is, the idea is that we have decentralized factories around each of the, in different regional communities and metropolitan communities. So it's an idea of actually sizing the manufacturing to be fit for purpose for the end product and using local waste materials, using local supply chains. And we've recently had one built out in Cootamundra. We've got more coming along the way, but our first one, and I still like to think of it as our first baby, was out in UNSW in our basement, and having that 150 square meters. So to give a shout out to the university and the entire team, and of course Venus Vision and making it all happen. But yeah, just having the last few years of being able to make a few things that have actually then got into apartments and things out of our own basement.
I think it's a great point that you make about making things sustainable and right-sizing them for the community they're in. So often we think bigger is better, but actually bigger is not always better. And sometimes that connection to community and right-sizing things is a really critical path to not only sustainability, but driving impact. What would you like from our audience, from our community? What do you need? What do you want to see? How would you like to connect? What do you need from people? This is your chance. Hustle, hustle, hustle.
Hustle. Look, one of the, as I said, one of the things that gets us excited is difficult waste challenges. So if you've got a waste challenge out there that you're looking for exciting, innovative solutions to, do connect with us. And for microfactories, for us, we've recently had entrepreneurs who have taken on that technology and actually set up their own facilities. So being able to be part of that supply chain, and when you connect with us, it may be that there is a different spot for you in that supply chain, but we'd love to hear your stories as well.
I really encourage everybody out there to connect through the app. It's not too late. If you're watching this later, please connect through, because the vision that the team at UNSW and that Anaban has is really actually about solving a whole full life cycle challenge. And so we don't want anybody to be part of it and, you know, to miss out on that opportunity. And if you're not the right person, can I just say this is a great time to dob in a friend. So if you know somebody that should be thinking about recycling in their sector and they're not, and they're a mate of yours, just pop their names down and you can make an introduction. You know, it does take a whole community to drive transformation and change. So thank you so much. We look forward to hearing about next year and seeing what the engagement with the Biennale looks like, and you know, what products we might have in the years to come out of that waste. So last but not at all least, my goodness, it's been an adventure this evening. I'm really excited to get the final video up and see Planet Protector packaging.
The world is in crisis. It's the limit of nature's tolerance. Inspired by nature, biomimicry gives us hope. Woolpack is a conscious imitation of nature. It leverages the thermal properties of wool to deliver a sustainable alternative to expanded polystyrene for use in shipment of temperature-sensitive foods and pharmaceuticals. Woolpack is transforming supply chains across Oceania. Made from waste wool, unsuitable for the textile industry, we have given this wool a second life. It's not a waste, it's a resource. Wool is nature's smart fiber. It's hygroscopic, antibacterial, provides temperature, and is 100% renewable. Global acclaim. It has unrivaled green credentials, and at its end of life breaks down to deliver valuable nutrients back into the soil. Woolpack is rematerializing our future as the world transitions to a regenerative, circular, and sustainable world. Woolpack is saving the planet one pack at a time.
Lars, I love your vision. I love that it's applicable to something that we can all relate to right now, both personally and professionally, with the amount of things getting delivered to our homes of every kind of nature, and certainly here at Cicada. How did you come up with the idea to replace polystyrene with wool for packaging? And not just wool, but actually wool offcuts, like the waste, literally.
Yeah, no, wonderful question. So what we saw was there was a need for an alternative to polystyrene, especially in the shipment of food. And another thing that we realized when doing our research is that there was an abundance of this crossbred wool that isn't only being used, well, is being thrown into landfill. So we put one and one together, and we managed to create this insulated product made from wool.
What I see as a common theme tonight, and I love it, is you've identified a waste product and gone, that's a resource. I can solve a problem with it. Not only can I solve a problem with it, but I can build a business on it, which is also really important, because building a business actually leads to sustainability. Tell us about some of the learnings and the success, because I'm imagining the first few products, maybe, you know, it was a bit of a challenge, but now you're doing, you know, foods, you've got medical supplies, like all of those industries have really sort of temperature sensitive requirements. Like, walk us through some of these successes and what ones, you know, is there one or is there five that get you really excited? Probably a lot.
We have so many different products that we've developed. Now, it was a lot of years of research, trial and error, making sure that we get the right price point, but eventually we got there. With the right price point comparative to polystyrene, we managed to make an insulative solution that performs. We currently do supply the food, seafood, pharmaceutical industries, as well as doing some work with the art industry to protect shipments being in transit. And we have many, many other possible things in our horizon to come.
So I'm going to put a call out before I give it over to you to ask what you want from people here, but I have an ask of everybody watching. Every single person here must know somebody that produces a product or service in the pharmaceutical industries, in the food industry, in the building supply chain, in packaging, in makeup, dare I say it? Hello, Mecca, who let's look at you. But I want to shout out, if you know a brand out there, regardless of the sector, you need to send them a link. Get on board, get into the chat right now, get the link and send it to them and say, you need to be more green, you need to be more sustainable. That's my request to you, because I'm the host, so I'm allowed to have a request. But Lars, what would you like from people tonight? What can we do to help you and support you in this vision and this mission? Because I really think this is fundamental. Like, this is such a huge problem and you have such a beautiful and elegant solution. What do you need and how can we help you?
I'm going to have to echo you, Sally-Ann. We just need people who know people in the industry to put the pressure on. We want consumers to really put the pressure on upwards so that they can make the change. But we're also looking for different players in the industry. We're looking for anyone in the food, seafood, pharmaceutical spaces that use polystyrene and would like to get an alternative solution. But we're also looking into the building solution, into gardening, into wine, and many, many other possibilities. So just reach out to us. I'm sure we'll find a way to make something happen for you.
I love it. I think this is something that we can absolutely transform. And I think the goal is to get you overwhelmed with inquiries. And then your new problem will be, how do we scale up to meet that need? That's a great problem to have. And we hope that we can actually help you with that problem. And then the solution on the other side, of course. Thank you so much. I love what you're doing. It's really incredible. And we are definitely going to share it with our community. And we actually have, quite a few connections in the deep tech supply chain, which I think will go start knocking on their doors and kind of being a little bit noisy and squeaky for you. Awesome.
Thank you so much, really.
So I just want to thank everybody tonight, because that is a wrap, pun intended, boom, boom. Our amazing 9 innovators for actually putting up their hand and being involved in this. Tonight, the whole event and this whole challenge is actually about, connecting people with solutions for the Biennale, so that they actually potentially become part of the supply chain, not just for the Biennale, but actually for exhibitions all around the world, and actually part of the supply chain that you and I use every single day. So I just want to, say I'm super excited about what I've seen tonight. I hope you all are. I hope that you're also really excited about the fact that next year we get to see all of these products and how they might be engaged and involved in the Biennale, maybe even the cable ties. You might have to go hunting behind the scenes a little bit to see where they're in use. But it's a really phenomenal thing. And I just want to give a shout out again to the Biennale, the entire team there, to the creative director, Jose Roca, the vision for actually going, we're going to hold ourselves accountable and be better and do better, and coming and saying to us, can we do this with you? Can we help? We really do hope this actually does kind of change practices and change things, and not just for the Biennale, but actually challenge and change all of us and how we think about our supply chains and what it is that we can personally do to make a difference on our footprint on the world, and tread much more lightly, so that we can actually, be great for generations to come and pay it forward, a legacy that we want for our future generations to see. So I want to particularly shout out and thank our partners, the Biennale of Sydney. It's going to be a great event next year. We're finally going to be able to all come together. I'm super excited. I know I'm going to be there. I'm going to be looking at everything and being inspired by it and challenged by it. And I hope you will be able to too. I hope those of you that are joining us internationally will be able to come and visit and see it face to face, because it's just going to be awesome to connect. I want to thank the UK Great campaign, which is part of the UK Australia season. It's a collaboration, as I mentioned earlier, between the British Council and the Australian Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade. It's awesome to see what these collaborations do and how they unfold and the impact that they can have. And we know we're going to see that in the months to come. And I really want to give a special shout out and a thank out to the UK Government's Science and Innovation Network. Thank you so much for all of you for what you've done to support this innovation challenge, for it going, for it actually, and what you're going to do to support it going forward as we see these innovators bring their products to market in the Biennale, but also in other sort of events and productions around the world as well. So particular couple of call outs to all of you tonight, because it is about hustle, hustle, hustle. I think you're all here because you actually want to make a difference and you want to see practices change around the world. So I want to say, if you're a deep tech entrepreneur, a startup or an innovator, you know, my team, Cicada, we're here to support you and connect with you. We've got a whole bunch of programs. We've got some amazing facilities, an amazing community. So we want to support you on your journey as best as we can. And I want to encourage you to head on over to our website, sign up to our newsletter, sign up to our events, come along to things, let us know what you need, and let us see if we can help you in bringing your visions to life and changing the world in the way that you want to do. If you're from government, I've got a really good challenge from you, and government from around the world, because we like policymakers. We do really like you. If you're looking for solutions or want to understand deep tech, or want to kind of figure out how you can actually make a transformational impact, please come and talk to us. We're here to help. We're not here to condemn, and we're not here to criticize. We're here to walk hand in hand with you on the transformational change that you want to see, not just in your town, in your state, in your country, but also globally. And we'd love to connect with you. And if you're from industry, any industry, I don't mind which one. We've got deep tech solutions in a range of areas, from med tech all the way through to new materials. If you're from industry and you're watching online today and you're inspired by what the Biennale is doing and going, oh, you know what, I think we could do something like that. I think we need to change our supply chain. Or I think we've got this challenge over here that we just don't know how to solve. Please come and talk to us. Get connected with us. Come along and reach out to us, because our team literally exists for this stuff. We love to help you solve your problems. We love to help you solve your challenges. We don't mind whether you're looking for something at a really early stage of research and finding that solution that's going to be a fit for you in 20 years' time, or whether you're like the Biennale and looking for something that they can use next year to change their practices. We're here to actually help you connect with innovators and creative people that are driving change in the world in deep tech solutions. So with that, we are at the end of the event this evening. I want to thank everybody for attending. It's not too late to head on over to Slido and pop in your connections and your requests. We really appreciate your support. We really appreciate you sticking through tonight, and we appreciate the fact that you are here to support sustainable change and sustainable practices, not just with the Biennale, but with all of us globally, and make the difference that you want to see in the world. Good night, everybody.